Hi, this is Richard Korn. I'm a math tutor here at Wyzant, answering questions submitted by a student. This is coming from calculus. I'm just going to do the first one. There are three problems here. I think once you see the first one done, you'll understand that how to do the others. And so here we go. So there's a theorem from calculus. I'm going to give it to you here. If, oops, there we go, bring it over again. Okay. So if g, if we're going to call g of x, we're going to call that the inverse of f, g of x. Then g of, we're looking for g prime of, we're looking for g prime of -4. And you can replace -4 with anything here. And we could use a c here instead of a -4. So then g prime of 4 is going to be 1 over f prime of g prime of g of -4. So it's a composite function, f prime of g of -4. Okay, that's an f there. Okay, so now that's the rule or formula here for how to proceed. So let's go ahead and work on the solution here for this. So for 6 here, oops. So let's go ahead and do 6 here. Now we know that the inverse travels through. So if g travels through -4, 0, then f must travel through 0, -4, because they're inverses of each other. And you might remember this goes back to algebra 2, so you have to remember that the graph of the inverse can be obtained by just swapping the x and y, just flipping them. Another fancier way of saying that is the graph of the inverse is the reflection of f over the line y equals x. But when you reflect over the line y equals x, you switch the x and the y. Okay, so now we know that, oops, that should be a -4 there. And you can see that if you plug 0 into f of x here, you're going to get -4. So that gives you some confidence here. So now we're ready to find the slope of the tangent line to the inverse function, even though we don't have an expression for the inverse function. Oh, it's very metaphysical here. So g prime of -4 here is going to be 1 over f prime, and g of -4 we already know is 0 because it's going through this point -4, 0. So it's just that. And so we just plug this in. We need f prime, so it's going to be let's find f prime of x. F prime of x is going to be 5x to the fourth plus 6x squared plus 1. So f prime of 0 is just going to be 1. So this is going to be 1 over 1, which equals 1, of course. So now to find the tangent line, we have a slope, because this is the first derivative is the slope of the inverse line, the inverse function at the point, the line, tangent line to the inverse function at the point -4, 0. So we have a slope of 1, and we have a point of 4, 0. And we can just use the point slope formula here. So y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. You don't really need point slope here because it's a simple equation, but in general, this is the better way to go. So you're going to go y minus 0 equals 1 times x plus 4. Keep leaving that negative out. -4, 0. And so y is equal to x plus 4. Minus an x1, yep. So that would be the equation of the tangent line to the inverse of this function f, which we still haven't found. But even though we don't know an expression for g, we can still find the equation of the tangent line to g when x is -4. So it's pretty strange, kind of magical, but that's the way it works. And you would do the same kind of thing here. The inverse will go through 0, 0 here. The inverse goes through 0, 1 here. And you use the same theorem over and over. And after you do it a few times, I think you'll get used to it. Okay, so that's it for this one. I hope this helped you. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.